In the summer of 2014, the State of Israel launched a brutal attack on Gaza. Anti-Zionist Orthodox Jews all over the world joined the world's outcry over the terrible destruction wreaked by the Israeli army. We now present to you a collection of video clips showing the actions and speeches of Orthodox Jewish rabbis over the months of July and August 2014 at over 100 events in more than 30 cities around the world. These rabbis, acting on behalf of anti-Zionist Jewish communities of the world, raised their voices and spoke out against the recent Zionist atrocities and brutality in Gaza, against the occupation of Palestine, and in general against the existence of the Zionist state of Israel.
This boy was taken and forced to drink gasoline, beaten, then lit on fire from the ultra-right-wing Zionists. To our brothers and sisters, our Jewish brothers and sisters, I want to thank you all too. We don't want to feel that we're alone. We don't want to feel that we're alone. This kid, he was laid to rest, put in the ground. For what reason? The 3 teens that were taken. Did we take those teens? Did my family take those teens?
Hello, how are you? Maybe I shot some.
Assalamu alaikum. We are here, Jews who originated from around the world, Jews who lived for many generations in Palestine, in Quds,
Everybody move back,
Jews
move back, move back.
who came from the Holocaust in Europe, Jews from all over the world have sent representatives, people from their communities, I amongst them, to deliver a message from our hearts, from our souls. And we pray to the Almighty that He should bestow upon me His words, His wisdom, that I may be worthy of conveying His message and sanctify His name and bring peace, salam to the world. Amen. Jews around the world have suffered for many generations something referred to as anti-Semitism. We have suffered at the hands, unrightfully, for many generations. But Jews around the world know that does not in any manner, shape, or form give one the right to rebel against God and create a home, a so-called home, and especially not when you are occupying other human beings, creations of the Almighty.
The rabbis to show solidarity for the Palestinian people. The Israelis, the Zionists doing all the persecution for the Muslim people in our name, in the name of the Torah. They're using the Torah falsely. They're taking out money basis of the Torah. They say God promised a land for the Jews, but they ignore that God sent us in exile today. What it's written in the Torah that God will send us in exile. It's written in the Siddur, we are now in exile. Going back to the land by force is against the will of God. It's a rebellion against God. Jews who believe in God can't do that. Jews used live peacefully hundreds of years, many centuries, in all the Muslim countries. We have no problem with the Muslims. I myself born in Palestine. My mother told me we used to be such good harmony with the Palestinians. And even today, Jews live in Iran, in Yemen, in Morocco.
We're here to express the authentic Jewish outcry about the atrocities done by the Zionist state for Palestinians, and to continually publicize because the authentic Orthodox Jewry always is against Zionism, will be against Zionism, and that all of the attacks which are done against Palestinians are not done in our name because we want.
We came here to scream our pain, how we are terrified about everything the Zionists are doing with the Palestinian people, especially right now in Gaza, in the West Bank and everywhere. We are shocked, we are terrified, and we came to show out and to express out our solidarity with the Palestinians and our total opposition to the idea of Zionism and to the state so-called Israel. It's against the Torah, against our faith, against our religion. It's against humanity, you know? That's why we are here.
Thank you. Hello, my friends. Why are you here today?
We came to show our solidarity to the Palestinians and the suffering and make clear for the world Judaism and Zionism has no connection, the extreme opposite. Zionism is a political movement against the Torah, against God, against the belief, and Judaism is a religion to believe in God and to complete His commandments and with peace and no fighting, no stealing, no killing.
Yes, I'm here to show my position and my protest. I'm protesting against the massacre and the killing of innocent people in Gaza, which is outrageous and unacceptable. So this behavior and this silence and the support we're getting from around the world. It's not defense, it's not, as long as they are aggressors against the Palestinians, as long as they are occupying people, as long as they're arresting hundreds of people and they making Palestinian lives miserable, they cannot say they have the right to defend themselves. This is outrageous. This is disgusting. We as Jews will feel responsible to stand up again and again until justice is brought, full justice. And that is the end of Zionism, the end of Israel, the end. And Jewish people will live together side by side in peace with Palestinians, Muslims, Christians, Arabs, like before Zionism.
We're here because we are angry. We are angry on the state of Israel about the massacre, what they're doing against the Palestinians already. What they're doing now, and it's already going on for over 66 years now. We came here as we come always to shout not in our name, and we want free Palestine. We want the world governments to wake up and join in solidarity with the Palestinians. That's the way where there will be peace in the Holy Land.
These crimes we experience today, the last couple of days, the last couple of weeks, is nothing new. This barbaric burning of the 16-year-old Muhammad Abu Qadir, this is not the first Zionist terror act. This torture of the young American citizen Tariq is not the first official police brutality taking place. This is going on already for decades. The entire occupation of Palestine, going on already for 60-odd years, is a total crime. And unfortunately, is being followed by countless, continuous crimes and tragedies, including crimes against innocent women and children.
We look at it that the world should know that by supporting the state of Israel, it's not any favor for the Jewish people, and contrary, the state of Israel with its criminal acts is exacerbating anti-Semitism throughout the world because people get confused. They think that all Jews support the state of Israel, and that's not true. There are hundreds of thousands of Jews throughout the world, including in Jerusalem and elsewhere in Palestine, who are opposing the existence of the state of Israel. And we clearly state that the Holy Land, the land of Palestine, belongs to the Palestinian people, according to
and we condemn what is being committed contrary to Jewish religion. As descendants of Jews from the Holocaust, people who were tortured or murdered, we stand up here today and we express our pain when oppression is being done against other people in Palestine.
With the help of the Almighty, we want first and foremost to express our outrage, our sorrow, our support and sympathy for the Palestinian people, the people of Gaza. I want you to know that in Jerusalem, in Quds, Rabbi Meir Hirsch signed as leader of Neturei Palestine, signed a letter of protest and consolation for the people of Palestine with the signature signed in pain and anger. We from around the world, Neturei Karta, sent out a letter. Worldwide Orthodox Jewry joined the universal cry of outrage at the latest terrorist actions by the Zionist state of Israel. Now, we have been tirelessly for the last 2 weeks. We've been in the streets. There was a Jewish community coexisting for hundreds of years in the same courtyards, in the same streets. I have people here who are 8th generation Palestinian who can bear testimony. We have people here. I have Holocaust survivors. I have people who immediately after the Holocaust were really brought up because the Zionists thwarted their efforts to go to other countries and they were sent to Palestine. And they immediately, because they were religious Jews, stood in opposition to this occupation. And they stood and lived together with Palestinian brethren. They remember, they've seen with their eyes when was invaded, with the terrible atrocities that occurred in 48, and then further in 67, I have colleagues who picked themselves up and moved away from the occupation, not because the Zionist state forced them out, but because they didn't want to stay under this terrible occupation. The state of Israel, and this has been created and ratified by the United Nations that we are standing here across the street from. And that is why we have come here today, to meet with the people who today are the leaders, the representatives of the states and the countries around the world, although they were not here when the state of Israel was wrongfully ratified, but they are here today as representatives of world leaders. We are pleading with you, ambassadors. We are pleading with you as representatives of your countries that you turn to the Almighty and ask for prosperity. You leaders ask the Almighty to give you peace. We are pleading with you to hear the words of the Almighty and to stop this occupation now.
People need to understand that Judaism and Zionism is two separate things. Judaism is an age-old religion from Abraham, our forefather, Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, our forefathers, and when the Torah was given to Moses on Mount Sinai. Zionism is the opposite. Zionism was founded by Theodor Herzl, who was an atheist Jew. He publicly declared in his personal diary that he did not circumcise his son's hands, his only son.
To clarify to the world that what is being perpetrated in Gaza today is a crime, a base crime. It's an atrocity that has no legitimacy according to the Jewish religion.
The philosophy of Zionism is something very new. This is not Judaism, this is not what our forefathers teach us. Our leaders didn't teach us to kill, to steal, to murder, to dispossess and to oppress. What is happening in Palestine for decades, what is happening now in Gaza is embarrassing. It's a catastrophe for Palestine. It's embarrassing to our religion since sadly this is being done supposedly in the name of our religion and is a danger to our people, including this lady standing next to me. This is a danger to humanity. This is no good for none of us. We have to stand up as we do today here in Montreal, and we do this all the time in dozens of countries, dozens of cities, thousands of people, masses of people are standing up this week and opposing what's happening. We cry with Gaza, we cry with Palestine. This is wrong. This has to stop today. We call out to all people of conscience, to all righteous people, to understand. If you didn't understand till now, please understand. This is a price we are paying for these crimes. It's about time to rethink, to stop, and to say
We stand here now and we want you to know that we will never accept the occupation of Palestine. And we will continue, no matter what the intimidation is, no matter what attacks there is. We as Jewish people are required by God, and we will, with the help of God, continue to scream and cry until the day when God will, His mighty powers, bring a speedy and God help peaceful dismantling of this impediment to peace called the Zionist state of Israel. And we cry with you, brothers and sisters in Gaza. We cry with you in the refugee camp, and we cry with all of you people who are cousins, sisters, and brothers of the people in Gaza who have seen and are watching helplessly as the people are dying and suffering. We feel with you, we embrace you. We want you to know that this has nothing whatsoever with our Jewish religion.
Judaism is yes, Zionism no. The state of Israel must go. Judaism yes, Zionism no. The state of Israel must go.
Judaism yes, Zionism no. The state of Israel must go.
Judaism yes, Zionism no. The state of Israel must go. Judaism yes, Zionism no. The state of Israel must go.
Again, do not call it a Jewish state. You're playing into the hands of those Zionists who want to accuse you of being anti-Semitic. It is a Zionist state. Remember that.
The Jewish people were given this land on a condition that they would keep the Torah there. And it says if they won't keep the Torah there, then they will be denied the land and they will be exiled. And everyone knows the historical fact that the Jews who were living in this land were sent into a diaspora, and that's the situation that we've been for the last 2,000 years. And once we were sent into this exile, the Torah tells us that we are forbidden to go en masse by force back into this land. We're forbidden to rebel against nations. This is a clear oath in the Talmud, and we're forbidden to try and end this exile which we've been put in by force. And apart from that, everyone knows that killing innocent people, stealing, is fundamentally forbidden in Judaism.
If I can start with you, Yisrael David Weiss. Rabbi, what is your impression of the situation so far?
I mean, it's what the Palestinian people call a Nakba. I pray to the Almighty that I can express his views, the views of the Torah. It's intolerable. I mean, it's just, there's like the lady who was explaining what is happening on the ground there. It's just, it's horrendous. There's no words to describe, and the Jews around the world, true to the Torah, from Al-Quds, from Jerusalem, to England and Canada and the US and Australia, our hearts cry. We are frustrated. We cannot express our sorrow at what is being done to the poor, defenseless victims in Gaza now. I am here now in Washington, D.C. We stood in front of the White House. They had a die-in where people lay down to symbolize each dead body that happened in Gaza. And we had Jewish people protesting. And as we've had yesterday in front of the United Nations, we had a large demonstration. We had tens of thousands of people. We had thousands of people in front of the Israeli mission. And this we had in New York, but also in, we were, as the other Jewish fellow mentioned, we had in Canada. I was in Toronto last week. We have Jews in Britain, in Al-Quds, in Jerusalem. So Jewish people are joining other people so that people should not be intimidated, not to think that this is a religious conflict, and to give the politicians the opportunity to stand up for what is right, what is righteous, what is godly and compassionate. God requires us to be compassionate. So we are giving them the opportunity that they could stand up and say, we cannot countenance any more of this evil and this injustice that is being perpetrated.
We are Jews representing many Jewish communities worldwide. And as we speak now, we have many communities in other countries and other cities standing up for Palestine, standing up to condemn all these crimes, this bloody murder taking place. But we have to clarify that these actions, this occupation and this bloodshed is not supported by all Jews, and certainly not condoned by Jewish religion.
And now, around 150 years ago, a group of people called Zionists came and they hijacked, they stole the name Judaism, the name Israel, the Star of David, our symbols, and they masquerade in the Jewish cloth, and they claim that God gives them the right to steal the land of the Palestinian people. That is a lie!
Long live Palestine!
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 Stop the killing, stop the war!
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 Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
And our message to Gaza is, we all are standing here in Hamilton. We are standing in the world, many cities throughout the world. We cry with you, Gaza. We feel you, Gaza. We feel your pain. We feel the disaster. And we are doing our utmost to stop this.
I can testify that I lived in the state of Israel 4 years. I've never heard of what is happening in Gaza. These things are not let into the street by religious people. That women and children are being beaten. Pregnant women are dying in childbirth at checkpoints. None of this is let out into the street. The Arabs are depicted as enemies. They're depicted as everyone as murderers. Nobody has told them the true history of Zionism.
Judaism is a religion. The Jewish people were always the people practicing this religion with no political movement. And this political movement came up with, in contrast to Jewish teachings, it's politics without any religion to it. At that time, all this conflict began, and sadly, unfortunately, we experience today already for decades this bloodshed from both sides. A catastrophe for Palestine, a catastrophe for the Jewish people, a danger for humanity. We have to stop this, and we are here in front of the White House. We were here before the Department of State. We urge, we plead with the United States of America. We have to understand that this is wrong for all of us. We have to stop this, and people, as people, can live in peace as we did.
And now the Zionists have transformed the concept of Judaism from subservience to God, from religion to nationalism. It has nothing to do with true Judaism.
Judaism yes, Zionism no! Judaism yes, Zionism no! Judaism yes, Zionism no! Judaism yes, Zionism no! Judaism yes, Zionism no!
We have lived together harmoniously without any United Nations to protect us for hundreds of years, and we can and further we will live together. Simply remove this impediment to peace, this occupation, this Zionist state of Israel that's masquerading in our name, in the name of Judaism, in the name of Israel. Remove it, we'll have peace.
We can ask people to come to this side if possible.
We are here in solidarity with the people of Gaza and the people of Palestine. How sad it is when we see hundreds of people murdered, thousands of people wounded, and tens of thousands of people homeless with no roof over their head, buildings bombed to the ground, hospitals destroyed, schools demolished. How sad and how bad. Let me tell you, and to my people of Palestine, my friends here, I visited Gaza twice since the siege. Gaza is still in front of my eyes. I will never forget those bombed buildings and those sad families sitting in the tents under corrugated plastic or metal, telling stories of the tragedies of their families. My mission was and is still, I am conveying the message of Palestine to my people in the United States and to my Jewish brethren in the United States.
But the Zionists did not steal only Palestine. They also stole the Jewish identity, the Jewish name, the holy name of Israel. It is a lie. They don't represent Jewish people. And let me add, they don't represent humans at all.
Merci, messieurs. Merci, messieurs.
Attendez, s'il vous plaît.
the Jewish people. State of Israel, you represent terrorism. Free Gaza! Free Gaza! Free Gaza! Free
We are international. We come from London, but we have people here in Paris, and we have people everywhere. We have people all over, in Jerusalem, in America, in Europe, everywhere. And we come here, we want to wake up the world. Zionism is the problem. The Jewish people should wake up and distance themselves from Zionism, and the government should wake up and realize supporting Zionism is the worst thing you can do for the Jewish people.
We refuse to let our voice be silenced. We'll come again and again and rally, and we will shout out again and again in the authentic Jewish streets and condemn such atrocities to be done to people. Our religion tells us that we are forbidden to make a state.
The only solution, state of Israel should be dismantled. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. And then Jews and Muslims can live together. Both parties, Hamas and Fatah, declare very clearly they have no problem with the Jewish people. They have no problem with peace-loving people. They have problem with occupiers. People that want to live in peace, they have no problem with them. We hope and pray for a speedily and peaceful dismantlement of the whole Zionist state. The whole land should go back to the Palestinians. And then we Jews can live the Palestinian government in peace like we used to live in all the years. We hope it will be soon in our days.
We're talking about lives of people. This is terrible. You know, we are just running around the cities these days, these couple of weeks. There are masses of people in the United States, in Canada, and England, in Europe, and in Jerusalem who are outraged about what is happening. This really has to stop. And we always say, as Jewish people, as Jewish rabbis, we say, this is not Judaism. This is not representing the Jewish people. The state of Israel never represented world Jewry, and neither does it represent Jewish religion. This is not condoned by Jewish religion. This is wrong. This is criminal. This is anti-religious. This is anti-Jewish, and this has to stop.
Indeed, some of the most vibrant images that we've been getting coming out regarding the protests against Israeli atrocities on the Gaza Strip have been of Jewish communities across the world protesting against this.
This hate that we experience today between peoples, this bloodshed we experience on both sides. We blame the political movement to Zionism, this political state in Israel, for causing all of this. We hope, we pray for the dismantlement of this political state of Israel. We hope that this should happen peacefully, with no suffering for anyone, Arabs or Jews. And we hope that this should be speedy, for the sake of the suffering people in Palestine, for the sake of the Jewish people, and for humanity.
our message to the pro-Zionists that we encountered before. My message to them is, you should go home, do your homework, study your religion, and study your past history. You need to learn what your grandparents believed in. You need to learn the history of your people, our peoples, for centuries. You have to rethink, understand that Zionism is a rebellion against Almighty God. Zionism is an embarrassment to our religion. Zionism is a danger to the Jewish people and a catastrophe and a bloodshed to many others.
Judaism is a religion. Zionism is heresy and antithetical to the Jewish religion. For the secular head of an atheist state to claim to represent Jews and Judaism is as absurd, as ridiculous, as Joe Stalin claiming to represent Christians and Christianity, or as Bibi Netanyahu claiming to represent Islam and all Muslims.
We Orthodox Jews have come here today representing religious Jewish communities from around the world, including Jerusalem. We are here to express our solidarity and sympathy with the suffering people of Palestine, Gaza and Al-Quds, and to express our outrage and condemnation of the ongoing atrocities committed by the Israeli army against the people of Gaza. Our hearts cry for the people of Gaza. We express our solidarity with the sovereign Palestinian people. Over the last 2 weeks, hundreds have been murdered, thousands wounded, many of them women and children. Tens of thousands have become homeless, without a roof over their heads. Buildings bombed and destroyed, including hospitals and schools.
Around the world, in many large cities, there are demonstrations in which people from all walks of life, all religions and communities participate, including Orthodox Jews. Jews of Jerusalem, America, England and Canada have come out to protest in solidarity with the people of Palestine and Gaza. According to traditional Jewish belief, Jews are in a divinely decreed exile. They are required to practice their religion and live as loyal citizens in the lands where they reside, and are forbidden to create a sovereign state of their own. This would be true even if this state has been created in an uninhabited land, or an inhabited land with the permission of its residents. But now that the Zionist state of Israel was established in an inhabited land, through expelling and oppressing its people, it violates many other divine prohibitions in the Torah. We are forbidden to kill, we are forbidden to steal, we are forbidden to oppress another people.
My message to you today, my friends, is, and I want to make this crystal clear, not all Jews are Zionists. In fact, the authentic, age-old Jewish teaching is that Zionism and Judaism are two totally differing and incompatible concepts. Authentic Orthodox Jews oppose Zionism totally. They sympathize entirely with the Palestinian cause and protest vehemently the wrongs that are being done to them. The Zionists in no way represent the Jewish people as they like to claim. And furthermore, anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism. If anything, Zionism and Zionists are the cause of any existence of modern day anti-Semitism.
For 2,000 years, Jews have lived as faithful citizens of their countries of residence without political aspirations. As we are commanded to do, then Zionism came and tried to change all of this. Judaism is a religion thousands of years old. Zionism is a nationalistic movement only about 100 years old, and it tried to transform Judaism. All the rabbis opposed Zionism from its founding day. We pray that the entire Zionist state of Israel should come to an end, and we hope it will happen in a peaceful way without suffering and bloodshed.
We condemn the terrible atrocities of the Zionist terrorists in Gaza and the whole occupation of Palestine, which is illegitimate. Down, down the state of Israel. It's terrible, the situation in the last weeks, the burning of a young child, in the hundreds, 700 or 800 murdered and thousands are wounded. This is terrible, and we have to say to the world that's not in our name, not in the name of the Jewish people, not in the name of God, and this is not in the name of the Holy Bible and the Holy Torah.
Judaism is a religion of peace, of respect, of dignity, of justice, a religion of faith in Almighty, where we have for hundreds of years prayed and hoped for the salvation of the Almighty God, not for political means or anything of the sort.
The Zionist uprising in Palestine, the Palestinians with cruel death and murder by force, lies and plot, all with arrogance and mockery, with a pride, wickedness and murderousness, the likes of which are unheard of. Unfortunately, to our disgust, they are cast off normal humanitarian behavior. They don't behave like normal human beings and not even like animals.
We as Jewish people stand fast in our religion, and we will not give an inch. We do not accept even 1 inch of this occupation of the Holy Land of Palestine. It should be returned in its entirety to the Palestinian people. They should be recompensated for all the damages done to them. We would profusely apologize, and the world and the Jewish people who are involved here and whoever else should profusely apologize to the people of Palestine.
And therefore they claimed falsely, amongst many of the other false claims, that it was a land without a people for a people without a land. Yes. They claimed that the religion requires them to take this land.
Zionism started around 100-odd years ago, in the 1880s, 1890s, let's say, and they had the big first meeting in 1890 in Switzerland, where they discussed, these were people who were already non-religious Jews. They weren't practicing their religion. They detested the religion. They were far removed from practicing Jews, and they were looking for a way out. So what happened was these guys came along with a new plan that they're going to make their homeland. They're going to protect themselves. They didn't want to turn to God because these are rebels and atheists and things like that. But they decided they're going to make their own country. So in other words, they're going to have a new type of a Judaism. Instead of trying to assimilate and drop their religion, which is reform, to reform the Jews, drop the religion, and it's today in America very, very prevalent. It's the majority of Jews are non-religious Jews. But the Zionists came along 100-odd years ago and they said, you know, this is not working. We're still picked on, anti-Semites pick on us. We're going to make a new thing. We're going to make our own state, our own country. We're going to take guns. We're going to have the iron, what is it called, the Iron Dome. We're going to have, they didn't have then at the Iron, they're going to have Uzis, they're going to have Phantom, they're going to make their own country. But what about practicing the religion? You call yourself Jewish. Not that. That's certainly not. So they wanted to make a new Judaism, and they should be respected as a Judaism. And this is called Zion, because Zionism is, Zion means Zion, means the city of David. So they called themselves Zionists, and they came along with this concept of a new Judaism. Instead of assimilating, to go away in a corner, to make themselves a country, a home, and this is what Judaism is about. So they transformed Judaism from religion, from subservience to God, from keeping the commandments of the Torah, everything that God wants of us, to be righteous, to keep the Sabbath, to do kindness, all the laws of the Torah. They're free of all that. They're a democracy, they call themselves. But they wanted to make themselves a nationalism. So Zionism means transforming the religion Judaism from religion into nationalism.
Again, we welcome the Jewish rabbis standing here. We welcome the Not in Our Name Jewish organization. We welcome the United Church of Canada. We welcome the Civil Rights Group. We welcome the various Hindu groups that have joined us. We welcome more than 70 organizations, which is a slap on the face. Today, Israel is more alone in the world. The Anti-War Coalition, the Canadian Peace Alliance, we welcome their representative, the Communist Party. Today, Israel is more alone in its terrorism than ever before. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Please raise your hand and say with me, free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Zionism is racism! Zionism is terrorism!
Now there is a concept of a promised land. The Almighty God did promise the Holy Land for the children of Abraham, Isaac and Jacob. This promise was fulfilled, but there is a second side of the coin. The land was given to the Jewish people on condition. There is a verse saying, and the land should not reject you because you defile it. If you would remain, if you would keep the land in the level of holiness that I require of you, you would remain in the land. Otherwise, you would be placed out of the land. Unfortunately, this is what happened by the destruction of the temple when Jews were exiled from the Holy Land. And this is one of the basics of our religion, is the concept of exile and redemption. Exile is a spiritual happening. This is a divine decree. This is not simple a physical happening that happened just because of lacking of our power. This was a direct decree of God and was told to us by the prophets at the time that this will happen. And unfortunately, this is what happened.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. As you know, our second session is going to start. And we have our honorable guest, Rabbi Weiss, coming all the way from New York. He is from the Neturei Carter Jewish organization, and he travels all over the world with his message. Even the last few days he was very, very busy in various travels, and we are very pleased and very grateful for him to come to our center. And yesterday we benefited from his presentation, and today we are going to have much more time, inshallah. So also we are very honored to have our honorable guests from the neighborhood church. So we welcome you at our center, inshallah. So now I'm going to request Honorable Rabbi Weiss to start his presentation. He cannot speak on the microphone because it's a Sabbath day. So thank you.
We hope that people start to understand that what is happening in Gaza now is terrible. What is happening in Palestine already for decades is painful, and there's no way that we should tolerate this. This is criminal, and this has to stop.
Let's pray together for the speedy and peaceful dismantlement of the so-called State of Israel without bloodshed for any innocent people. And also let me pray for the people of Gaza. With the help of God, the truth will be successful in the Zionist so-called State of Israel, which is a rebellion against God, will be dismantled. Free, free Gaza! Free, free Gaza! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Die Media vergabt de ganze Welt in zijn Meinung wird leider nicht ausgeriefen. In der Meinung von der Emmerse getreue Jiden seine getreue zu Tore kommt nicht heraus. Soll es herauskommen in der Öffentlichkeit für alle Goem, in den Goem in Gaza. Sollen wissen, als der Emmerse Jiden seine getreue zu Tore und getreue zum Eibischen, 2 Tungen, auf dem sie kommen dort vor, ins Warten, soll sich schon endigen der Ziches dort, ins kickt man heraus auf seine Wohlsam, soll schon nehmen ein Ende seine Zures, seine Interdrückung. Und sie sollen wissen, als die alle Sachen mit Zionisten in nicht getan, nur für Teure und nur für Jiden, weil Jiden sind dagegen. Aber viele der Jiden, die wohnen in Palestine, die Jiden, die wohnen dort hinter seiner Regierung, verdammen es auch, aber sie können nicht herauskommen, es liegt aus der Media. Die Media ist interventionistische Interdrückung, und es liegt dem, was zähnlicher 1000 Jiden, die wohnen dort in Palestine, haben mehr von der Interdrückung von den Zionisten, wo sie sind solche bittere Ratschum, und sie haben schon ausgeführt in der Vergangenheit, der Ziches auf der drei Jiden, wo sie sind gegen die zionistische Okkupation auf Palestine, und Jiden haben mehr herausgekommen. Leider die zionistische gereizt sich in der ganzen Welt gegen die Palästina, kommt leider ja raus, in der Meinung von der MS Jiden kommt nicht heraus. Beten wir, ins Willen, in seiner Meinung soll rauskommen. Das ist alles, was man sieht, was die Kinder vor gegenüber, wo die Zionisten dort machen dort Protesten, es kommt heraus seine Meinung. So von der Seltzeit rauskommen, der Meinung, was ehrlich Jiden sind getreut zu der Teure und haben die Messias Nefesh nicht mehr zu von den Zionisten. Und rausgekommen suchen seine emmese Meinung. Als Jiden verdammen die zionistische Okkupation auf Palestine, Jiden verdammen seine Begommens auf Gaza, sei welche Palästina Medina von Araber, so soll sein. Jiden verdammen die alle Sachen und es kickt mir raus auf die Ende von alle Okkupations und alle terroristische Stück.
Because we are Jews, we are standing here opposing in its entirety the occupation of Palestine and the new things that are happening in Gaza.
Thank you, Rabbi Weiss. Thank you, Rabbi Weiss.
Our prayer is that this illegal entity known as the State of Israel should come to an end, peacefully, hopefully, but come to a total end, to be replaced by a regime in Palestine totally in accordance with the aspirations of the Palestinian people, when Jews and Arabs, Jews and Muslims can live alongside each other peacefully as they have done for hundreds of years.
The solution is like before the state, it was the State of Israel. Before the State of Israel, before Zionists came to Jews had the peace with Muslims for hundreds of years. Same solution can be now. Give back the state, and we hope and pray for God for the
peaceful, tremendous activities without any bloodshed, and it could be. We pray for God for that.
Wir stehen ausschreien, Ayid tun nicht über kein eigen Land. Ayid darf sein in Gules, laut, wie soll der Hype, der Schäfer, Gott Burchi hat geheißen, bei Feulen. In Matur erwarten nicht hergenen, oder beroben, oder tun andere schlechts für Menschen. Nicht kein Recht, sie beroben, in tun da alle Sachen, wo die Israelis, wo sie regen sich das State of Israel tun. Bin ich gekommen, sie suchen der Emmes, als Ayid ist nicht kein Zionist, und das darf man verstreiten in der ganzen Welt. Ob das wird werden verspreit, wenn sie haben eine kleinere Macht, wenn sie tun schlecht, und sie haben die Keuch zu haben eine Regierung.
I could just state that worldwide, the Jews true to the Torah, true to the religion, stand in total opposition to this offensive against Gaza and in general to the whole occupation of Palestine. For over 66 years we're hurting. We have large communities here in New York. You have right across from Manhattan the largest concentration of religious Jews. There's not one Israeli flag. I can tell you that in Jerusalem somebody walked in, an Israeli officer, and he was shooed out of the synagogue with very insulting words. We do not stand for this. It's against our Torah to create a state. It's against our Torah to oppress the people and steal their lands. We have no right to it. If you will look at our site, and we brought pictures here, you'll see how many Jewish people have been murdered because they stood up against Zionism. People who are not armed. We are never militant. And yet, they had the audacity to claim that these Jews are rebels and they murdered my brothers. They murdered and they are murdering today Jewish people who are standing up and demanding a free Palestine. In Al-Quds, in Jerusalem, my brethren are being beaten because they are standing up for the rights that God demands for the Palestinian people. Free Palestine! Free, 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 free Palestine! Down, down Israel!
Down, down Israel!
Down, down Israel!
Occupation is a crime!
Occupation is a crime!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Occupation is a crime!
Occupation is a crime!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Justice for Palestine!
Because we are Jews, condemned in the stronger language, based on the field of cruelty, which is against the Holy Bible. The occupation of Palestine has been going on for more than 60
Also today's discussion I'm joined by Rabbi David Feldman from New York from the Neturei Cultural International. Welcome, sir. Rabbi, 25 days into the Israeli onslaught on Gaza, how do you see the situation?
Well, 25 days is way too long. 1 day is too long and 1 hour is too long. What we are seeing already for, as you say, 25 days, this is simply escalating every day. This is a sad destruction, a sad disaster for Palestine indeed. And this is unfortunately a disaster for Jewish people as well. We just see what is happening. We are helpless. We are the Jewish people worldwide. We are standing up in many tens of cities, and we condemn all what is happening. I happen to be just now on my journey to Washington DC, joining into tomorrow is going to be a national rally. This is going to be huge and large. People are coming from many states, many cities. We all are up in arms. We are crying out to the world. We are crying out to the United States of America. Please, this has to stop.
Judaism, yes. Zionism, no. The state of Israel must go. Judaism, yes. Zionism, no. The state of Israel must go. Judaism, yes. Zionism, no. The state of Israel must go.
These people of Palestine, these human beings, these innocent human beings, these victims of this terrible Nakba, of this occupation, who are they? These are people of Arab descent, of Muslim descent, Arab Christian descent. These people who are living there, who are they? They are people who are not only creations of the Almighty, but they are people who help the Jewish people, as in every Muslim and Arab country, throughout trials and tribulations. For the thousands of years that we existed, the last few hundred years and 1,000 years and 2,000 years, there were the Crusades, there was the Inquisition where Jews were forced to convert. And what did the Jewish people do? They ran away. And where did they go? To Arab and Muslim lands. They went to Morocco, they went to Tunisia, they went to Palestine and Egypt and Iran, and so forth in Iraq. Every land opened their doors for them. These Jewish people were not hidden Jews. They were not dressed as non-Jewish people like the Zionists, but the majority of them are. But they were distinct. They were clearly marked and seen as Jewish people with their Jewish garb. And they flourished as Jewish religious community in these Arab and Muslim countries. They were embraced, they were given a safe haven. And the Jewish religion tells us that we must never forget good done to us. We must pay back and show our gratitude for good. And what is Zionism doing? Is this the gratitude they're showing for them by vilifying and claiming that there is a hate, an ingrained hate from the Muslims and Arab people to the Jews? How despicable, how repugnant, how evil this is. We as Jews are frustrated and humiliated by what is being done in our name.
We should remember these people, and we should do all in our ability to help this stop. God bless the international community who are standing up. God bless the people here today who stand up and remember and bring the conscious to other people to understand that this has to stop.
Free Gaza!
Free Gaza. And my prayer to Almighty God is that the souls of the people murdered should rest in peace. The injured people should have a speedy recovery, and the homeless people should have their homes rebuilt and live in safe and security.
Gaza!
You can see on our site at nkusa.org. We have a book called The Rabbis Speak Out. It compiles a 130-year record of religious Jewish opposition to Zionism, showing you the world, the entire world Jewry, meaning from Sephardic, from Jews from the Middle Eastern countries, from Africa, from the European, Eastern European countries, from Hasidic, Lithuanian leaders, all of them in one voice oppose this whole ideology of Zionism, of creating a state. Since Zionism decided to create their state in Palestine, and they moved up there from Europe, they came from Europe, Theodor Herzl and his cohorts, they started oppressing the Jews of Palestine. You can see on our site in many links how Jews are brutally beaten. We're never armed, we're never militant, we don't have arms, and yet they're murdered, assassinated our leaders, they're thrown in prisons and oppressed. And the world doesn't hear that. The world hears that the Zionists are our patrons, that they're the ones who are representing the Jews and protecting us from our enemies, the so-called enemies, the Arabs and the Muslims. Let you know, you are not anti-Semitic if you oppose this occupation, because it has nothing to do with the religious conflict. It's against religion. Because we're Jews, we oppose the occupation. Stand up! Oppose it! Stand up! You're not taking Jews! You're not an anti-Semite! That's just Zionist attacks, that ploys to intimidate. Stand up and let us not stop screaming till there's free Gaza and free Palestine.
I'm representing not any opinion of my own, but I am representing the view of Torah, true Judaism. That is the basics of the religion Judaism. That is that Judaism is subservience to God, and the transformation to a concept of nationalism, which is Zionism, is strange and totally forbidden according to our Torah. We are to serve God, to keep the Torah. We are forbidden since the destruction of the temple 2,000 years ago to have even 1 inch of Jewish sovereignty. So the concept of creating a state was opposed by all the leading rabbinical authorities at the time of its inception around 100-odd years ago. And to top that all, the fact that they're making their state in an inhabited land in Palestine just compounds this terrible crime against God thousandfold, because you're not allowed to steal and you're not allowed to kill, as the basics of the Torah. And Zionism is an occupation of another people. We cry and suffer and feel the suffering of the Palestinian people. We're humiliated because our identity of Judaism is hijacked once again. When they made other forms of Judaism called Reform, Conservative, all these are false representatives of our religion, and now Zionism has done it again.
Now I want to say it one more time, that as we all notice, Judaism does not support Zionist states. Judaism preaches for peace, just like Islam preaches for peace, just like Christianity preaches for peace. We are not here as Muslims, as Christians, as we are here as humans.
Upper support Zionism.
Unfortunately, hate is being entered into the mind of people to Jews because of what is happening, supposedly, by the Jewish people. But we have to understand that this is not the Jewish people. This is a gang, a group of political people who do not represent all Jews. When people understand that this is not the voice of the Jewish people, then certainly they will only hate those people committing the crimes and not all people who happen to be against it.
Absolutely. To show our sorrow and our hearts are rent at the suffering of the people in Gaza. We are humiliated and frustrated because it's being done in our name, in the name of Judaism. Simply hijacked our identity and our symbols, the Star of David and the name Israel, and they're flaunting this and claiming this is a religious conflict, that the people of Palestine and Gaza are villains and they hate the Jews, and we cry with the people of Gaza. We say that this is totally a con job. It's totally false. Jews have been living for hundreds of years with the people of Palestine and with the people in all Muslim and Arab countries in peace and harmony, even though we have a distinctly different religion. Thank you.
Well, as a religious Jew, somebody who believes fully in Judaism, which condemns the Zionist ideal, so I look at this situation as basically yet another catastrophe which has come out of the Zionist movement, both for Jewish people and for Palestinian people who are subject to whatever the effects of Zionism. And I take this opportunity to, in the name of Judaism and in the name of the religion which has been distorted into nationalism, in order to justify these inhumane actions, in the name of this religion, where I, on behalf of hundreds of thousands of Jews over the world, are condemning these actions, and speaking on behalf of the Torah to say that there's absolutely no justification for it.
Solidarité avec la Palestine. Solidarité avec la Palestine. Solidarité.
Judaism yes, Zionism no. Judaism yes, Zionism no. Judaism yes, Zionism no. Judaism yes, Zionism no.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Gaza! Free Gaza! And Krishna! Free Palestine! Free Gaza!
I have a message from my colleagues who constantly call me, my Jewish friends from Palestine, every day concerned. What is happening? What are we doing to speak up? And they have a message, and our message is Kula bina ma Gaza, Kula bina ma Palestine, Kula bina tabki ala Gaza, Kula bina tabki ala Palestine. This is the message that they have from Palestine. My brethren from Palestine, my Jewish brethren together who are suffering, who feel your suffering in Palestine and in Gaza. Firstly, to pray to the Almighty to bring a speedy and God help peaceful removal of this state, Zionist state of Israel, to bring a full free Palestine. And at the same time, we cannot rest with that. We have to stand up and not be afraid of being referred to as anti-Semitic or self-hating Jews. Stand up because God is righteous and just. We must stand up and tell the world we cannot sleep when Gazan people are suffering and dying. They have no food, they have no water, they are suffering. We as a human community cannot be silent. We will stand and continue. Together let us go and scream, free Palestine, and plead with our leaders, free Gaza, free Palestine. Tahia Gaza, Tahia Palestine! Assalamu alaikum.
Wow. Thank you for such powerful sentiment.
We appeal to the world leaders to stop the latest ongoing cruelty of the attack of the people of Gaza. To be followed, full justice for the Palestinians. For the sake of everyone. Free, free Gaza! Free, free Palestine!
Your name, sir?
Joseph Gone.
Joseph Gone. Okay, tell us how important is it to protest and show the American administration that you are against what's going on in Gaza? How important is it to you?
The fact of the matter is that most people in the United States are ignorant of what's being done to the Palestinians for decades now. And many people in the entire world are ignorant of that the state of Israel and Zionism is not, has nothing to do with Judaism, with the Jewish religion, or with the Jewish people, and it's not supported by the Jews through to the Torah. So,
do you believe that more Jews in America are listening to your message?
Yes. The more we come out, we explain to the world that the real traditional teachings of Judaism does not allow for Jews to have their own sovereign state, and does not allow to oppress other people to continue with all these atrocities being done in Gaza. The more people are being educated, the more stronger the voice against this terrible crime will be, and we eventually hear it and will stop, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you very much. God bless you.
I was born in Brooklyn. This is special to me. I'm representing many Jewish communities in Brooklyn who are upset to what is happening in Gaza already for weeks, upset to this whole occupation already for decades. This is not Jewish. This does not represent world Jewry. This is not condoned by Jewish religion. All of this is criminal. All of this has to stop.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Zionist terrorists stop killing children. Zionist terrorists stop killing children. Solidarité avec la Palestine. Solidarité avec la Palestine. Solidarité avec la Palestine. Avec la Palestine. Free.
But give us some insight on what you think Israel had done to the Palestinians. And we have a friend of Graham's calling in a few minutes. He has a son over there in Gaza. and we have him calling in and talking about his experience. But you give us some idea of what do you think this peace agreement is all about?
Yeah, well, let me preface this this conversation with I pray to the Almighty to bestow upon me His truth, His wisdom, that I may be worthy of conveying His message, that we could somehow broadcast to the world to sanctify His name, bring true peace to the world with God's help, inshallah. Basically, you know, the whole thing is the whole issue. What we have this quagmire, this terrible Nakba, the tragedy is really taken way out of context. Unfortunately, you know, the victims are vilified, the villains are victimized. You know, so it's the whole thing becomes confusing to many people around the world. And I hope with your show we'll have the opportunity to clarify a little bit, at least, to give a window of opportunity that people should be able to study the subject in the proper perspective. The issue here, the root issue, the reason that there is all the bloodshed, the beginning to the end, the whole encompassing issue and in the core issue is based and rooted in one thing, that there has been an illegitimate occupation of a people.
A tremendous, large voice for organized communities who still, after all, don't agree. We had in the last couple of weeks, just in the recent attack on Gaza, we had over 30 cities throughout the world, Jewish people who stood up in public. You can imagine that this is facing intimidation. There are many, many people behind these active people who are here to support us, our communities, and our communities. We're talking about, I'm from New York. We have tens of thousands of people in New York, condensed population areas and communities with no Israeli flags, no celebration for Israel, none of these. The same we have in Jerusalem, the same we have in Canada, and even in Europe.
Because we are against the state of Israel. Enemies of Jewish people, I'm saying every time, it's not Arab, not Muslim, it's the Zionist government.
United will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
God bless people who come out on the street under this heat. It's hot, yes it's hot, but I think that in Gaza it's way worse.
That's right.
Yes. This is at least what we can do. To come together, gather, speak up, and raise their awareness. May the world hear our voices. May the world hear the voices of Gaza. These crimes have to stop, and this was supposed to stop years back. We must stand up and stop this right now. God bless the people who gathered here today. God bless the millions of people worldwide who are standing up ready for weeks now and ready for decades since the beginning of this occupation. God bless the Jewish people who stood up in the last couple of weeks, you may not know, in over 30 cities all around. And we are standing up and we will continue until this embarrassing, dangerous, bloody occupation is continued.
Jewish people, yes. Zionism, no. Jewish people, yes. Repeat, Jewish people, yes. Zionism, no.
Judaism, yes. Zionism, no. Judaism, yes. Zionism, no. Judaism, yes. Zionism, no.
And therefore, we Jews around the world proclaim that we have no connection with the Zionists or the Zionist state or with their actions. Their actions are nothing but robbery, murder and cruelty. The name Israel that they use is false. They have decided on their own to use that name unjustly. They are not Israel, and they have no right to speak in the name of all Jews. The Zionist state is not a Jewish state. It's a Zionist state. We appeal to the world leaders to stop the latest ongoing cruelty of the attack of the people of Gaza. To be followed, full justice for the Palestinians. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
For the sake of everyone, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Gaza.
Free Gaza.
Down, down Zionism.
Down, down Zionism.
End the occupation now.
End the occupation now.
Judaism means subservience to God, accepting the covenant on Mount Sinai. That is what it means. Zionism is a transformation to base material nationalism. Never the twain shall meet. It is totally contradictory. It has no basis to join together. Again, I must state, the chief rabbi of Palestine, when before they ratified the state, went to the United Nations in 1947, and he said, this is Rabbi Dushinsky, he said, we furthermore wish to express our definite opposition to a Jewish state in any part of Palestine. That ideology is being shared from then till today. We compiled the greatest rabbis from around the world who agree with this. But why doesn't the world hear about the tens of thousands of people here who are demonstrating when they took up the new chief rabbi from our community? There were literally almost 100,000 people in the street. When they decided they wanted to Netanyahu came to visit President Obama in front of the White House. Tens of thousands of Jews. It's never reported. There is two Judaisms. There's the Judaism that we made a covenant with God on Mount Sinai, and Jews around the world, invariably, who are from the real Jewish communities, stand with that Judaism. And we don't have one Israeli flag in New York and Williamsburg, the largest concentration of religious Jews, and in Jerusalem. And you know what else you don't see? This is when in Foley Square, when they tried to take Jews into the army. They don't see when before the elections here in 2013, when they took up, they made elections, there was mass demonstrations, both in New York. This was in 100,000 Jews when they welcomed the anti-Zionist rabbi to Jerusalem right before the election, because to give courage to the Jews not to go to the elections, the Zionist elections in 1930. What happens is we have Jews who demonstrate and get brutally beaten. That doesn't either get seen. It was here in the UK, where I am now. This was Rabbi Aaron Cohen. He should have long years. He spoke in Manchester now about the attacks against Gaza. This is what they did. They slashed his tires. They broke his windows. This is a Rabbi Yaakov Zemel. They threatened his life. He had to run away. This is in London. They desecrated the synagogue with their Stars of David. They beat and brutally attack, and it never gets reported, and they don't get caught either. We went to Gaza. We went to Sabra Shaltila. I have pictures. We went to visit Sabra Shaltila. We went to Gaza. We went a few times. We went on Viva Palestina voyage, and George Galloway, by the way, was also beaten, and we feel with him his suffering. And we went to visit a few times. Many times we brought trucks, medical aids. It's symbolic to show here where we brought a message from the Jews of Palestine, symbolic and a little aid and trucks to show that we cry with the Palestinians. We feel their suffering. We feel when Gaza happened, we hardly slept. We went to over 100, we put out a whole booklet. We went to over 100 activities because of Gaza around the world. We stood in front of the UN every single day, I believe. We stood in front of the UN with signs denouncing the state of Israel. We went around the world to every single land almost that we could go to, and we protested and we said, this is not Judaism. This is deplorable. This is despicable. It is against God, and it must be stopped. Not only the attack on Gaza, the occupation of Palestine has to be stopped. God help, speedily and peacefully.